Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Gary Common Council meeting, January the 15th, 2019, within the 6 p.m. hour. I will ask everyone that can and will stand for the prayer and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Priest will lead us in our prayer this evening.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, God, we thank you for this time that you allowed us to spend together. Lord God, we thank you for this city, and we thank you for the leadership that you provided in this place. Lord God, touch their minds and their hearts as they lead us in the way that thou will have us to go. Help us to all make good decisions that it might all be pleasing in thy eyesight. In Jesus' name we pray, thank God, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Priest, for our prayer this evening. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown. Councilman Brown.
Present.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Here.
Councilman Proto. Councilwoman Rogers.
Present.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilwoman Sparkman.
Here.
Councilwoman Wyatt.
Present.
And President Moore.
Here.
Mr. President, there are 9 present, 0 absent.
With 9 present, 0 absent, we do have a quorum to conduct the business of the city of Gary. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting?
President, I move that the minutes from our previous meeting be approved. Second.
Been moving properly second by Councilman Smith. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell.
Yes.
Councilman Proto.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks Wade.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt.
Yes.
And President Moore.
Yes.
Mr. President, vote is 9-0.
Vote of 9-0. Our minutes from our previous meeting has been adopted and so ordered. We don't have anything on first reading on today. We will go, before we go into special and select, I have a presentation that will be coming before us concerning AARP. Will Mr. Mayo Manny please come at this time? And I don't know if I said the last name or the first name correct, but you can correct me there.
Council President Brewer, members of the Common Council, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Manzan Moyo. I'm the Director of Communication for AARP Indiana. Our goal is to create communities for a lifetime, essentially where folks can live, work, and retire. And today, I really just came by to drop off some of our great resources around housing, our Home Fit program, and most of hopefully, the resources in your package will be an opportunity for you to pass along to your members around how they can better their neighborhoods and how they can better the communities that they live in. Our goal is to create an age-friendly community whereby the housing, the transportation, public spaces, and all of those opportunities allow us all to age comfortably and in a place that we all can be suited to live and work where we love. And a great community like Gary deserves that opportunity. My goal here tonight is just to make sure that you all are each equipped with some of our best resources around creating livable communities. And my hope is that each of you can take the packet that you have and share it with the members of the community that each of you serve. I think most of you are familiar with AARP because of our products and services from a discount perspective, but we are also looking to make sure that we empower our members where they live, and that's my goal as the Director of Engagement. I have left my business card in there. I'm happy to answer any questions by phone or email if you have any. And then also if you would like to invite members that are in your districts. I know a number of you host district meetings. I think that is an opportunity that we would love to take that opportunity to make sure that we engage the members that live and work where you serve and be a part of sort of the change that you all are a part of as the Common Council of the area. So again, thank you for this opportunity. Again, my business card is in the packet. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer and reach out to you. Thank you again, Council President.
Thank you. Is there any questions from any council members at this time?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Brown.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me congratulate you for coming to present this presentation before the board. I am an active member of AIP. I do know that the organization is a great organization. I think I've been a member for the past 5 or 6 years. I can also tell you our local Denny's on Grant Street offers a 15% discount if you're an AIP member when you make a purchase. And I frequent that. So I'd encourage others to, if you don't have information, to join. It's a very active chapter. We've been to a few of the meetings. I think you guys had a meeting one time at the baseball stadium, the chapter. We attended that. So I want to thank you, and I encourage all of those who haven't joined to join. And thank you so very much for coming tonight before the committee. I didn't need to pack it up.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
The Council of Brownsville, we do have the local chapter here that meets over at St. Timothy on the second Thursday, I believe, of the month. So if you do have folks who are 50 and older and are active in the community, feel free to plug them into that chapter as well.
One more thing I want to add, this past summer, the local ARP did a recycling drive at St. Timothy as well. We participated in that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other council members? Councilwoman Brown.
I'd just like to mention that the Third District Community Organization meetings will begin in March. We don't meet in January. December, January, and February, we do not meet. But we will begin in March, the second Monday in March, which is March 11th. And thank you, Mr. Moyle, for coming today, because you just gave me an idea for someone to have as our speaker at that meeting.
I appreciate that.
So thank you very much. I will talk to you later. Perhaps we can have you as the speaker at our first meeting on March 11th.
Oh, thank you, Council.
Okay, thank you.
Any other members? Well, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to bring this to us. It's a very important package here, and we look forward to working with you throughout the city, getting the word out.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Thank you. At this time, we will go into special and select by any council member at this time. Okay, seeing none. Let's see, I go Councilwoman Rogers, then Councilwoman Wyatt. Yeah, and then Councilman Brown.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to say hello and Happy New Year to all of the residents in the fourth and in the city of Gary. I would like to make an announcement. We received notice that the city of Gary will be having their meetings for the comprehensive plan throughout the entire city. And in the 4th district, it has been set for the Pulaski Marshalltown area on Thursday, January 24th, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Ironwood Park Pavilion. I would request that residents in the district please come out to lend your support, to lend your ideas, to find out the direction of the city regarding its comprehensive plan. Very important meeting. Please come out January 24th, Ironwood Park Pavilion, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Councilwoman Wyatt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to announce that the comprehensive plan meeting for the 1st district will be held on this Thursday, January 17th, and it will be at 6 p.m. at Marquette Park Pavilion. So that's 6 p.m. and this Thursday, January 17th. Also on January 28th, we have a 1st district community meeting And we are having the emergency manager from the school corporation, Mr. Peter Morikis, will be joining us. And so we invite everyone to join us there. That will be at the Market Park Pavilion, and again, it will be at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Councilman Brown.
Good evening again, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just would like to take this time to acknowledge Mrs. Willa Simmons. She's the wife of the late Benny Simmons. And then on January 6th, we had the pleasure of going to Covenant Church of Gary because they were honoring some retired police officers. And it was Gerald Clayton, Gabrielle King, David Moore, Elijah Moore, Anthony Stanley, James Walton, and the former Chief Douglas Ray. They also honored the recent Chief Richard Allen, Sergeant Hector King, and Chaplain Thomas Williams. Also, they acknowledged, some of you all know him as Prime Time. He works with the youth a lot, in years. Ivan Woodard. It's great when we have these activities, the churches take the time out to honor people in the community that have done a lot of great things. And it was great to see them honor the local police officers, those that have served, as well as those that are still active. They also honored Jan Van Sands, who works for WGBE Gospel Show. So one of the reasons why they had that is because they were trying to get people in the community to understand that the church works outside of just the church as far as drug treatments and things like that, and the amount of things that people were doing to help them. And it was also great to see those young people with Ivan, that they also known as Prime Time, because he's taking those youth throughout the entire country to a lot of events, and he's allowed them to shine, and people know Norfolk and Dan Gary have a lot of talent, and he's still working hard, so we want to continue to support him and his efforts and what they're doing as well. So just wanted to share that with you because I thought that was a great thing in our community. Also, yesterday we had the pleasure of going to the Chamber of Commerce luncheon, and Mayor had the pleasure of speaking about the current event. She's not here to come. I'll let her get you an update whenever she comes back. And also last night, I'm here to the first district, if the chairman doesn't have. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brown. It is true that we had a well-attended MCC Miller Citizens Coalition meeting last night, and the mayor was a special guest, and she presented her city plan. It was very informative, and she answered questions until longer than I could sit still. So it was very good. It was, I know that the residents of the first district were pleased with the time that she spent with them. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, one more thing I just want to thank the pastors of Church of Gary Covenant, Pastor Robert and Cheryl Cornelius for the work that they did. Thank you again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Brown.
President, each council member has a listing of the forums that are going to be held in their district for the upcoming public forums of comprehensive plan. And I just think that we should announce for all the districts where they're going to be so that everyone knows. I didn't realize that it was in my package until I heard someone mention it. And then I looked because the one for actually the third district, Towson and Small Farms, is going to be on Tuesday the 29th at Towson facility from 6 to 7:30, and then Black Oak is being scheduled. But I think that someone ought to let everybody know what the dates are, wherever they are, so that we all know.
It's in my packet down here. Thank you. Okay, the locations for the upcoming public forum and the comprehensive plan update will be in the Miller area at Marquette Park, Thursday, January the 17th, starting at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, January the 22nd, we'll be in the Emerson area at the Art House, starting at 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Thursday, January 24th, we'll be in the Pulaski and the Marshalltown area at Ironwood from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, January the 29th, we'll be at the Tolleson Small Farm at the Tolleson Pavilion from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Thursday, January the 31st, we'll be in the Ambridge Horseman area at Ambridge Pavilion from 6 to 7:30 p.m. February the 7th, that'll be a Thursday, February the 7th, we'll be in the Brunswick West Side area at Brunswick Pavilion from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, February the 12th, we'll be in the Glen Park area at the Blind Social Center. That's from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And there are other dates here on here, but there are no other location, but there's no date scheduled yet. So we'll give you those updates at the next council meeting for the other ones. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Is there anyone else at this time? Councilwoman Wade.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I would just like to express my
Get your
condolences
microphone.
to the Culver
Councilwoman.
family.
Your microphone.
I would just like to express my condolences to the Culver family. You all know Isaac Culver, either junior or senior, it's like three of them, is the pastor of Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Church. He lost his father, and we would just like to express our condolences to that family. He has long been a resident of the city of Gary, and my mother actually attends Jerusalem Baptist Church. So again, we would like to express our condolences to that family. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Welcome. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I'd like to say, I'd like to thank the Baptist ministers of Gary and vicinity for the 12-night revival that they had in the city of Gary. Well, not just in the city of Gary, we was in South Michigan City and other areas too. And just want to thank them for the great turnout that we had these 12 nights of revival inside the city of Gary. Also want to echo Councilwoman Wade on my condolences to Pastor Culver and the passing of his father also. And to the family of Patricia Phillips. She was a lone member of my church that passed away, and we just funeralized her this past Saturday in Michigan. Also, the next council meeting that will be here, it will not be in this room, it will be upstairs. They will be setting up for the UNCF breakfast will take place down here, so this room will be decorated for that event that will be happening the next day or that Tuesday. So we'll be upstairs at the next council meeting. So when you come here, I'm asking everyone if we can go upstairs. Okay. So we will go right into third and final. We have one on the agenda, and we will go at this time. Madam Clerk?
CPO 2018-70, an ordinance amending Title 15 and Title 9 usage, Chapter 123 entitled Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gary, Indiana. Petitioner GNR Contracting 5821 North US 35, Newport, Indiana. Property at 2859 and 2853 Dallas Street and 2800 and 2740 Calhoun Street.
Mr. President,
Councilor Smith.
I move for passage of CPO 2018-70 on third and final reading.
Second.
Been moved properly second. By Councilwoman Caldwell. Overview at this time. See our Chief of Staff is coming.
Good evening. GNR Contracting is petitioning to rezone several parcels on the north side of 29th Avenue near Calhoun and Dallas Street. The area is currently zoned R2 and is vacant. To the south and west of the property is established residential neighborhood. To the east of the property that was previously rezoned by the same developer in 2016 for development of a truck stop that to date has not been built. The prior rezone was predicated on the understanding that the truck stop would be built at the southeast corner of 29th and Burr
and that developer of the truck stop will make necessary improvements to the surrounding roads to accommodate increased truck traffic. No improvements have been made. 50 certified letters were mailed out to surrounding property owners. 0 were opposed, 3 were not opposed, 21 were undeliverable, 26 did not respond. The Planning Commission met on December 18, 2018 to approve the petition, but the planner has concerns causing her to not recommend the change, and I have her here so that she can share those concerns.
Wait a minute. We don't go off of that. The board voted, and it was voted favorably upon the board.
It was.
So we don't go on individuals' opinion. We go on what the majority rules was, and it passed favorably through the board.
So, you're correct. We're offering her insight if you want it.
Is there anyone from the council willing to hear insight why the planning director doesn't want it, but the board approved it unanimous?
Mr. President?
Yes. I've given you the courtesy, council members, yes. So Councilwoman Wade said yes, so we will go move forward. Okay.
The planning commission did vote to approve, and I know that it was heard at committee, but just for the record, my concerns were that I felt that the petition wasn't strong enough to justify encroaching on an established residential neighborhood with a manufacturing use. And that was my primary concern. Also that I didn't feel like the land use was compatible with the existing plans for the neighborhood and the future land use plans.
I said that because I don't like to make up the rules as we go along. We have a way that we do things here, and this has never been done before, where it has been favorably recommended or not, where the director comes and says, well, I didn't like it. It goes upon what the board has presented to this body here, and that's what we normally move on. So I don't want to set a precedent on something that we normally don't do, and now we're doing something different because we have chaos all the way around. So I just want to make sure that we're fair to any petition that comes, that we give everyone the same courtesy. That's why I stand on that. Is there any other comments? Councilwoman Caldwell?
That's your personal opinion?
It's my professional opinion as the city planner.
Just yours? No one else's?
It's the Department of Planning and Redevelopment's opinion.
Councilwoman Brown?
Was she at the planning committee meeting?
Ms. Hurton is,
Pardon?
Ms. Hurton is there.
Oh, well, I agree with the president. I just don't think that we should make our rules as we go along. I mean, somebody had an opportunity to say something at the planning committee meeting, right?
Correct.
Wow.
Councilman Brown,
Yeah,
sorry.
can I ask as to why this wasn't brought up in the committee hearing?
The zoning administrator attended the planning committee hearing with the materials that I presented. Also, we did have a representative from the planning commission at the planning committee meeting, which is Councilman Brewer. So he was able, to provide that perspective as well. So
Did you have an objection at that time?
at the planning committee, at the planning commission meeting, yes, that was my recommendation at the planning commission meeting, was that the petition be denied, but the petition was approved.
Is there anyone else? At the planning committee, it was approved by a body, not an individual. We heard from both sides, and the body approved to move forward. And inside the planning meeting that we had last week, even the mayor stood up and sanctioned behind this, giving her approval on it. So I don't know where the cross up in the lines is going here, but it's not good for business. I'll just say that. Public portion is now open. Anyone like to speak for, against CPO 2018-70?
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council. My name is Jim Nowacki, resident in the 2nd District. This is one of those rare occasions where my opinion and the opinion of the administration of the city align. I attended the committee meeting of this county council where this was held. I did not attend the Plan Commission meeting was one of those rare, meetings that I did not attend. But I can tell you in my professional opinion, and I've been before this council many times, complaining that these zoning from residential to M1 can be problematic. However, the purpose of M1 zoning, and I'm going to repeat it because the council should know this, the purpose of an M1 zoning is to buffer higher uses from residential uses. That is the purpose of an M1 zone. So when you are using, in an instance like this, you're in compliance with the general objectives of the zoning ordinance. The council has in the past taken action on adjacent property, changing the zoning for a use similar to this petitioner's use. It would befuddle me to figure out what the city planner, what her objection or what her complaint was, because in her overview, she certainly didn't make that clear. This use with some new construction, and I think the council saw it in the overview, they're actually going to build 2 new facilities, planning 2 new facilities on these parcels. It seems like that's something that would not only be, would not only comply with the actions that the council's taken in the past, but would be in the general vein of the council's previous action for this area. Now, I do remember when this was being first initiated, and there were a lot of problems with the local residents. And I have to say I was quite impressed with the efforts of the developers at that time to accommodate, facilitate the relocation of the residents. They may want to speak on that before the council takes a vote, but from my understanding, the residents who have been relocated have found it amenable. So I'm going to urge the council to reject the planner's opinion and vote favorably on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else, public portion is now closed. There further discussion by council members at this time.
Mr. President?
Councilwoman White.
Did I understand in the overview that the same developer had a change and then did not proceed with the actual construction on that site or on an adjacent site?
Let me have the petition to come up at this time and they can walk you through. Can you all walk them through very quickly from where you started from until we got to this point? So that way we won't have a clear understanding where we get.
Thank you for having us to have this opportunity. My name is Gary Bradke with the Bradke Engineering and Surveying. We're the engineer and the surveyor for the project. Sergio Gutierrez is representing the owner of the property. What the property location is south of 94 and to the west of Burr Street. And right next to Burr Street was the Aerogas property, what is going to be developed as a travel center. You approved this facility is over 40 acres for a travel center about 2 years ago, and they have not built, but we have been in communications with them, and we're getting some good information that this might be happening very shortly. So what Sergio is looking at is starting construction on a new facility, which would be actually located to the west of the Aerogas property. The Aerogas property was here, and we had over 100 trailers that we moved out of there, and with a lot of effort with Aerogas. And so they moved the trailers out, and we went to about 4 different trailer courts, and it was successful. It was kind of interesting, we were kind of threatened it a few times with guns and stuff, but we survived through it and stuff. And the people, I think, ended up with a nice facility in different areas. But we're really happy with that. We're not the developers, we're the engineer for the Aerogas, and we're the engineer now for this new facility. We tried to develop a residential area in this area along Dallas Street. We're trying to do that, and unfortunately, because of the codes and also the possibility, feasibility of actually selling lots and homes, it was not feasible. So then we ended up doing this with the M1, and the comment of buffer is actually correct on it. We had the 2 meetings with the site review committee. We had then the planning commission with 6-1 vote, and then last week we met with the planning committee of the council. What we're proposing to do is that we actually have a buyer for the property that is looking at developing a truck facility, maintenance facility. And this is the building located right here. And basically it's about 8,000 or 9,000 square foot building, and it is a, right now they are renting a facility in Gary, and they are definitely going to be moving from that facility. So what we have convinced them is to buy in this property and stay in the city of Gary with their employees and stuff, and so instead of moving out. So I think that's a real positive thing. The other facility is actually, we're looking at a tire repair and sales lot. And this is the building up here. Actually, Sergio Gutierrez has a number of those already, and he's looking at this location. We're looking at 15 to 20 new employees, over $1 million of construction, which could produce a number of dollars, about $20,000 or $30,000 of new income for the city on taxes. We are not asking for a dime from the city. We are not asking tax rebate or anything. We're, the developer and the owner is going to actually spend all their own money on doing everything. We will be probably looking, when we had this at the planning board, there was discussions that we had. They had a number of questions, and one of the questions that they had was, why don't you vacate Calhoun Street? Calhoun Street is this dead-end street. And the discussion is, why not vacate it? It is only serving this property and the Aerogas property and right at the intersection. So we'll probably be requesting, if you so approve this rezoning, we'll probably be requesting to vacate Calhoun Street, stops you from having to maintain it, snow plowing, and anything else, and so we'll probably be going through the process with that, as that suggestion is. There's also concerns about the truck traffic, and the issue is the trucks on 29th Avenue, how they would get onto Burr Street. All that would be looked at prior to submitting plans for the construction plans. There's a question on the electric and the gas. There used to be an old campground or a trailer court in this area, and that the gas was still on. Is that something that's over 30-some years ago, and that could have been a very dangerous thing. We just got NIPSCO to finally shut off after 30 years the gas facility, so it gets a much safer thing. To help out the area by the Dallas Street, what we're planning to do is install about a 4-foot berm along Dallas Street, put trees on it, and a fence all the way around the property. So we're going to secure the property and also put a buffer, another buffer, physical buffer, such as a berm and trees and a fence on Dallas Street. So this should then make it a lot nicer for the people on Dallas that owns the property. The schedule was requested. To look at the schedule, we're looking at construction starting in the spring and hopefully opening in the fall. Interested if there's any other questions, hopefully that answers.
All right, thank you. I know this is not the norm that we go into a full presentation during the council meeting because we're basically getting ready to take it for a full vote. But I do appreciate the presentation that you gave, and I thought it was important to bring everyone kind of up to speed to how we got to this point here. Okay. Good. All council members, any other questions? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Brown?
Yes.
Councilwoman Caldwell?
Yes.
Councilman Proto?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rogers?
Abstain.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sparks Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wyatt?
Yes.
President Board?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 8 yes, 1 abstention.
With 8 yes, 1 abstention, CPO 2018-70 passed on third and final, and so ordered.
Mr. President, is there any ordinances and resolutions of third and
All right, thank you. There's nothing on second reading tonight. We will go to the administration's report. Chief of Staff have a report for us tonight.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yesterday, the mayor spoke at the Gary Chamber of Commerce membership luncheon. The mayor talked a lot about recent development, including the more than $1.5 billion in commitment of development dollars in the last 6 months, and small business development in the city, and gave a sneak preview of what's to come in the State of the City address. The mayor's State of the City address is Friday, February 22nd, 2019. The address again this year will be presented during the luncheon beginning at 11:30 here at the Genesis Convention Center. The Mayor's Office of Constituent Services invites you to a Love Your Block informational meeting Thursday, January 17th at 5:30 p.m. in the Gary Room at City Hall. Block clubs could be eligible for a $1,500 grant specifically for block club use. On Wednesday, please RSVP at 881-4815, extension 16528. Again, RSVP at 881-4815, extension 16528. On Wednesday, January 9th, we hosted a Living Mayor's Roundtable as a part of our comprehensive plan discussion. We were honored to have Mayor Richard G. Hatcher, Mayor Thomas B. Barnes, Mayor Scott L. King, and Mayor Doja T. Allen in attendance at IUN for a discussion about the city's past, present, and future. The event made history and received a very history lesson as we witnessed 6 decades of mayoral experience on the town. There will also be a community meeting on Thursday, January 17th at 6 p.m. to discuss the city's comprehensive plan. This meeting will be held at Marquette Park Pavilion. Upcoming meetings will also be held at the Art House on Tuesday, January 22nd, Thursday, January 24th at Ironwood Pavilion, Holliston Pavilion on Tuesday, January 29th, and Thursday, January 31st at Ambridge Pavilion. I asked the Director of Public Works to stand up here with me. She has some updates about Public Works and safety updates and some information about the city's snow plan.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to give a couple of updates. I'll start with infrastructure first. We, on Friday, January the 11th, we submitted an NERC funding application. The first project submitted was for a complete streets application for 5th Avenue, Buchanan to Tennessee. This consists of making 4th and 5th Avenue two-way traffic. Trucks will use 4th Avenue, which will make room for bicycle and pedestrian facilities on 5th Avenue. The second project submitted to add pedestrian crosswalks and signals at 5th Avenue and Bigger Street by Thea Bowling Leadership Academy. We are also going to apply for community crossings grants. We have a list of streets that we are going to submit. First is Ridge Road from Harrison, Mississippi. This is for resurfacing, I'm sorry. 7th Avenue, Broadway to Mississippi, Grand Street, Ridge Road to 47th Avenue. 6th Avenue, Broadway to Mississippi, 25th Avenue, Klein to Clark, and 23rd Avenue, Chase to Grant. The city engineer and the public works team are working with redevelopment on the new comprehensive plan. The current plan is from 2008. Our work includes sections for streets, sidewalks, ADA plans, traffic signals, lighting, and GIS. The traffic division, Troy and Banks completed the citywide lighting study. The study has identified numerous lights that are inoperable and numerous areas that are underlit. The city engineer and traffic division will review the study in detail and make our recommendations as to where lighting should be added. The traffic signal repair and maintenance contracts were bid out. Once the contracts are awarded, the work will begin. The street light maintenance contract will be ready for bid by the end of January. The new contract will include maintenance of all city-owned lights along with cataloging and analysis of all of the control boxes. So we will have an inventory of all of our control boxes. We currently have an engineering firm that's doing road safety audits for us. And this is a plan for preliminary engineering and data collection for a grant that we received for street signage. The engineering work for 2019 is currently being developed. We are going to prioritize our work, but we're looking at patching materials, spring resurfacing, crack sealing, city curb and sidewalks, our 50/50 residential sidewalk program, roadway striping in various locations, guardrail repair in various locations, and delineator repair at the County Line Road railroad crossing. In terms of our snow plan, we are expected to receive some ice. It's in the forecast to receive some ice on Thursday, as well as about 6 inches of snow on Saturday. So we are prepared. We've ordered salt. We have more coming in by Thursday, the 16th. 500 tons are coming in, and then after we receive that, we should be getting another 500 tons shortly after, within this week. The current plan is to have 2 shifts. So starting tomorrow, we have 2 shifts in our General Services Department, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 3 to 11. So we'll always have staff in the event we do have inclement weather. And our shift changes are going to coordinate with vehicle maintenance. So should we have any breakdowns, we do have our vehicle maintenance team on staff as well. In the event of significant snow during this event, we're going to have a 12-hour shift, 2 12-hour shifts for 24-hour coverage. We are going to activate our snow partners, which includes the Gary Sanitary District, fire, police, and we also have contractors on standby as well if need be. In any event we do use contractors, our contractors will be paired with our general services workers so we can make sure that we can tandem down the main thoroughfares and clear those areas first. As always, we do have 2 foremen, and they are monitoring the weather. And in the event we do have inclement weather, they pre-salt the hills and overpasses and standing water locations as well. Let me see what else I can. This year, we're doing something a little different. We're going to communicate with our operators and our foremen through walkie-talkies that were given to us through the police department. All of our vehicles have GPS tracking, as well as we're putting GPS on our contractors' vehicles as well. I just want to remind everyone that primary routes are main thoroughfares and heavily traveled avenues. Weather permitting, these streets are plowed within curb to curb within 24 hours after the snow stops. Operators plow continuously down these streets during the snow flaws to keep well-traveled areas safe and passable. Secondary streets, weather permitting, are the residential side streets, subdivisions, and less traveled avenues, and they are plowed within 48 hours after the main thoroughfares are plowed. And then we have tertiary streets tertiary areas, which are the alleys, remaining residential side streets, and low traffic areas, and they are plowed within 72 hours. And we do have a quality assessment team that's going out. We have divided the city up by 11 sectors in various color-coded routes so that our operators are clear about the locations that they are supposed to plow. And we do have a quality team that's being assigned to each of those areas to make sure that the residential side streets are plowed correctly. We also will have a 301 command center that's also located at 900 Madison with our guys. And we will have people staffed there to answer calls, residential complaints, and to make sure that areas are covered. In the event there is some sort of emergency, we do have police and fire committed to helping. In the event we have people that need to get out to dialysis or any other medical appointments. So they will be assisting with that. And that is what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. LeBroy. That was lot of good information that we hearing coming from your department there. I was out with you all this weekend when we were making sure that the snow was up for everyone on Sunday once the snow had stopped. And I also had a chance to just go over and talk with General Service, the staff, the workers, and management team there also too. I believe we all come to the conclusion to really make sure that we can do an effective job is we need cooperation from everyone. For one, be patient with the city of Gary as we're trying to clear the streets. You will not really see a finished product until the snow stops. A lot of people want to see pavement and the snow is still falling. It just doesn't happen that way. It's almost a waste of material if you're salting like crazy and the snow is still falling. Second of all, obey those signs that say no parking during the snow. Believe it's 2 inches or more of snow. That will be in effect and your car will be being towed. We have our police and chief and deputy chief there that will back me up on that. We will be towing cars in those routes there. We are expecting a lot of snow to fall. Hopefully we don't get it. The Lord's been good to us. But if that occasion should happen, we asking everyone to obey those signs there at the same time. But if you have driveways, you have garages, we asking everyone on those side streets to utilize those things, to make sure that we can really get the streets clean in a proper manner and make sure that your vehicles are not damaged. We asking that you utilize those things by putting other cars into the driveways or into the garages if possible. We appreciate everyone's cooperation as we look forward to making sure that our streets are clean and safe for the residents of this city and the ones that pass through our city at the same time. Is there any comments from any other council members before we go into public comment? Councilman Brown.
Thank you. I'd like to add on to what you said about the snow issue. And I'd also like to remind our residents about our emergency vehicles, whether it's police or fire. When you see them going down the street, please pull over, please put your flashers on, so those vehicles can get to their location, particularly when we see the snow. Also, it's buses as well. As you know, 3 children got killed back in southern Indiana earlier this year because of that situation. I read this morning, I believe in Lake Central School, they put cameras on those buses so violators can actually be ticketed for going around buses when those stop signs come on. So please stop. Wherever you're going, it's not that big of a rush. You're not going to try to catch a train and go on the train tracks either. So we're just trying to get you to be disciplined and respectful for the law enforcement that's working, as well as the bus and the children that are out here. And you know, in the wintertime, when the snow is out, you can't really see very well. So if those flashing lights are on, please try to stop again and not cause any problems. One more time, I want to reemphasize what the president said concerning the plows. I live on a dead-end street, but we try to get our vehicles off the street and the driveway so the plows can come through as well. So I encourage others to do it. Anyone that has any issues about towing, you know, in Chicago, the moment it snows, if you're in the way, what happens? You get snowed. So just pretend you're in Chicago. Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Chicago, it don't have to snow. Ms. Ann Walker is our first speaker for tonight. You gonna pass? Let's see if your friend be so nice. Mr. Nowacki is our second speaker and our last speaker for tonight in our public portion forum.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council. I would defy anyone to contradict me when I say complaining before government bodies is effective. I know that I've complained over and over and over about many of the issues that have now been addressed by our Director of Public Works and Safety, that the city is going to be taking some initiative to make some changes. For instance, turning 4th Avenue into double traffic in both ways. Very, very important. I want to emphasize that, but by making a point. The council knows that for many years I've come before this body and complained about the flooding on 5th Avenue. The state spent $40 million rebuilding 5th Avenue. And by the time they were done, we had flooding all up and down the south side of Fifth Avenue on both sides of Broadway. The council probably knows that I've come before the council and mentioned that the state then took almost $250,000 to address that flooding issue. I've been to NERC many times complaining about it. I've been before the council. I've been to the sanitary district. We've got the director of the sanitary district here. And we find that they've actually addressed that problem. But the reason that's important is because in the discussion we've had with them, they said there was no way to repair the flooding directly east of Broadway on Fifth Avenue. And they spent $250,000 fixing this other flooding, but they said they could not fix that flooding on Fifth Avenue by Broadway. Now, if you go there today, you'll see it's not flooding. And I was very curious as to why that section of the road is not flooding anymore. And I find that what they had done was they had replaced one of the sewer grates. You know, when you drive around the city, sometimes you'll see a solid sewer grate, solid metal, no holes in it, and sometimes there's a sewer grate with holes in it, perforated. And what the contractors had done in their $40 million contract is they had put the wrong grate on the sewer. So for 5 years, I've been complaining to NERC, to the sanitary district, to the board of Public Works and Safety, to the Gary Common Council about this flooding. People threw up their hands, there's no way to fix it. And the problem was no more complicated than putting the right grate on the sewer. Think of how stupid I feel. After spending 5 years complaining before every available body to fix that flooding, and to find out all it required was to put the right grate on the right manhole. How stupid I feel. Now we have the problem that this roadway that had been inundated with water for 5 years is totally destroyed, totally ruined because of the idiocy of the people who are responsible for making sure that the road doesn't.
Thank you, Mr. Nowacki. I want to thank everyone for coming out to our council meeting tonight. This is our last meeting of this month. We will see everyone inside of February, the first Tuesday in February. Thank the viewing audience at home. Thank the ones that came out tonight. There's nothing else. I entertain a motion for adjournment. We now stand adjourned.